Hello students, this is Vikas Mahajan. And I welcome all of you in our YouTube channel for the lecture of Foundation course SYBCOM Semester 3 Chapter number 7 Soft Skills for Effective Interpersonal Communication. In this lecture we are going to discuss the following point, that is barriers to effective communication, and the subpoints of it are 1. Physical, 2. Linguistic, 3. Cultural, 4. Psychological, 5. Organizational. Let's begin today's lecture. Barriers to effective communication. Communication through any medium is successful if the meaning of the message clearly reaches the receiver. Many a times this does not happen due to some disturbance during the passage of message or some error or absence of some quality in the sender or receiver. Any such problem or obstacle is termed as a barrier to communication. Following are the various types of barriers to communication. 1. Physical, 2. Linguistic, 3. Cultural, 4. Psychological, 5. Organizational. Now we shall discuss all the points one by one. Number 1. Physical. Barriers that are external or related to the environment in which the communication takes place are called physical barriers. They are as follows. A. Environment. Elements of the environment such as temperature, humidity, ventilation, light of the place, etc. Where communication takes place affect the communication. For example, lack of proper ventilation in an auditorium can make the audience uncomfortable, because of which they may not be able to concentrate on the show. Natural calamities disrupt communication mediums, because of which people remain stranded for long. B. Time and distance. Time difference between two people can affect the communication between them. Some people do not meet their families for days because they have unusual work shift. People living in different time zones also have to make different arrangements to communicate each other. Distance becomes a barrier, especially when messages have to be given personally. C. Defects in mediums. When a wrong medium is used to communicate, the message cannot pass to the receiver as expected. For example, written medium will not be useful to communicate with illiterate people. Defects in the instruments used may also pose problems. For example, disconnection of internet service during a video conference or faulty telephone service. 2. Linguistic. Language is the primary tool of communication. Problem may occur in communication if there is a problem in understanding the language, pronunciation or meaning of the words. A. Difference in language. When the people wanting to communicate with one another are not familiar with each other's language, they may not be able to communicate effectively. Different languages have different meanings for a single word. For example, in Spanish burro means donkey while in Italian it means butter. Such problems create misinterpretations and misunderstandings. B. Jargons. Technical terms particular to a field are called jargons. For example, people who are interested in space but are not physics students may not understand a lecture if jargons are used by experts talking in the lecture on space research. Thus the speaker should keep audience in mind and use words accordingly. C. Ambiguity. Similar words may mean different things when used in different contexts. This may cause misunderstanding. Homophones or words with same sounds but different meaning like here and here may create confusions during a communication. The same color may have different symbolism in different cultures. Christian brides wear white on their wedding day, Hindu married women wear it when their husband dies. Confusion and misunderstanding due to such problems can be overcome by a proper knowledge about the culture that one is going to interact with. D. Voice and tone. If the speaker is too slow or too fast, the listener may not be able to follow the conversation. If the tone used by the speaker is not proper, then the meaning of the message may not effectively reach the listener. A monotonous tone makes the receiver lose interest. 3. Cultural. Opinions and thoughts of people are influenced by their culture. Culture refers to ideas, ritual, ceremonies, festivals, etc. of a group of people. Words, symbols, actions, etc. have different meanings in different cultures. When people from different regions interact with one another, culture may become a barrier in many ways. People may think about symbols from other cultures in their own culture's context, leading to misunderstanding. Sometimes people may not understand actions and words from other culture. For example, people in India are finding it difficult to adjust with the corporate culture of calling each other by first name in workplace. In India, calling any senior or elder by first name is utterly rude. 4. Psychological. Communication is affected by the state of mind of both the sender and the receiver. Biases and prejudices of people, their emotional well-being and general mindset affect their thoughts. Following are some of the psychological barriers. A. Selective perception or filtering. People sometimes accept only such information from the message which is relevant to them or appeals to them. This is known as selective perception. In some cases, such practice is beneficial, but otherwise, it leads to loss of valuable information by the receiver. B. Closed mind. Some people do not like suggestions or advice given to them. They believe they know everything and can handle everything. Such closed mind affects effective communication, especially in teamwork. Some people who do not like changes may not accept others' ideas and opinions. C. Poor retention. If the receiver has poor retaining capacity, then much of the information may be lost by him and so the communication may fail. D. Emotions. When a person is in bad mood or depressed, it affects the communication process. Receiver's concentration may be affected if he is in bad mood, or if the sender is in bad mood, he may not communicate the message in proper words and tone. Nervousness also affects the way a person communicates. If a person is in stress, he is unable to communicate properly. He may transfer the message in a wrong manner or receive it wrongly. A. Bias and prejudices. When ideas about something or someone are formed without proper knowledge, it is called prejudice. Prejudices block the mind and do not allow truth to be seen. Communicating with such people is difficult. They may not want to understand the message the sender wants it to be understood. Prejudices about people whom they are communicating with also affect the communication. If a person has bad impression or image of the sender, then they may not accept messages from them freely. On the other hand, if the receiver has a very good image of the sender in their mind, they may accept any information from them. F. Slanting. Slanting means giving different meaning to the message. Thus the receiver makes inappropriate conclusions about certain information. In some cases, it may be relative understanding of a term. For example, during a sale, the rate is expressed along with the term only. It implies that that price is low during the sale, otherwise it would have been standard. 5. Organizational. Apart from the above mentioned barriers, there exist some peculiar barriers which can be seen in business organizations. A. Excessive information. When too much information is passed on, then people tend to make errors while processing the information, or they may delay the process, or they may neglect some part of the information. B. Lack of common goal and planning. People often speak without proper thinking and without any specific goal in mind, which creates confusion in an organization. They may speak in a rude manner which can spoil the environment of the organization. There can arise goal conflicts between different departments or between two different individuals. For example, a research and development department may want more money to be spent on the development of new technologies, whereas a design and marketing department may want more money to be spent on designing and marketing of a product to increase the sale of a product. C. Barriers related to positions held. Many a times the superiors tend to pass on the orders upon their juniors or pressurize them to finish the task without carefully listening to their set of problems. On the other hand, juniors may feel awkward or may hesitate to approach their boss due to lack of proper communication. In this way, today we have discussed the barriers to effective communication in this lecture. We shall have a recap of the points. Those are: 1. Physical. 2. Linguistic. 3. Cultural. 4. Psychological. And 5th one, organizational. I hope you might have understood all the points clearly. We will meet again in the next lecture. Till then, take care. Bye. And thank you all.